Again, a round of applause for our panelists. They've done such a good job. You know why? Because I would say 80% of YouTube is showing up. You've got to be consistent. For those of you who want to ask questions, we're going to be using the hashtag #IdeasAtVidCon. Okay? So we're not going to be passing the mic out, but I'll be following on Twitter.
It's very modern.
It's called #IdeasAtVidCon, and the @ is actually spelled out AT. I know, it's like, ugh, so annoying. Can't we just abbreviate it? But hashtag #IdeasAtVidCon. And I'll try to intersperse some of your questions as we proceed through the session. We have about an hour, and what I'd like to do is just quickly, just run down the line. Talk about who you are, your channel. I think you did a great job self-describing earlier.
Thanks.
And then we'll just kind of get into that source of inspiration and kick it off. I mean, we saved the best for last, folks, so thank you. Let's do this. Alexis, why don't you kick it off?
Woo! Hi guys, my name is Alexis G. Zall. Thanks for the attention, I need it. So basically what I do on my YouTube channel and the way I usually describe it is like comedy vlogs. So I'll talk about a certain topic or something that I have opinions on, and then I'll intermix little like cutaways and sketches that help kind of tell the story in a spicier way than just first person. So that's me. I hope you're all well.
Yay.
Good
Hi,
one.
I'm Jenn McAllister. Hi guys. I've been making videos for 7 years on YouTube. I also make comedy vlogs, very similar to Alexis's, and I act as well. And yeah, thanks for coming out. It's good to see you. Woo! I'm not gonna get any of that. Hi. That was not a ploy. I did not do that on purpose.
Sure.
But thank you. Hi. My name is Blackery. I also do comedy sketches, and I'm also a musician. These guys pretty much explained what I do, so you're my inspiration. There we go. What about you?
sWooZie, I'm Black Scap,
Who's
everyone.
sWooZie?
I'm putting you on my Snapchat. Say hi. Some of you guys probably, you noticed I actually am sWooZie. This disguise is not working. No, I talk about my life. I talk about girls. I talk about working at Disney. I talk about all that fun stuff. I always wanted a big brother, so I try to be that voice for those of you out there who don't have that big brother voice.
Oh. Okay, let's get into it. This is all about coming up with ideas. Like, how do you stay fresh? And I think what I really want to do is start at the beginning. Because I think many of the creators out here may be in the beginning phase of their career as, I guess, creators, not just necessarily YouTubers. But I think, and I mentioned this before we got started, it can be very intimidating to start. So if we could just go down the line and talk about, go back into the past, and 6 years is a while, but when you first started your channel, what was your source of inspiration? Were you looking at other creators? Were you just doing it on your own? Can you remember your first video? Was it a struggle? Jump in and let me know what you think. Go back to the beginning, when you were just a little YouTuber, just a few subscribers, just you and your mom.
I'll jump in, Drew.
Yes.
No,
Thank you.
My thing was I had just gone through a really bad breakup, and I was very scared of making a video because I thought my ex is gonna think I'm so conceited, sitting in my bedroom by myself talking to camera. But I used to actually make video blogs when I was like a little kid, 8 years old, before YouTube was around. So that's kind of like proof that I was self-centered and into myself, recording myself in my bedroom. But no, my thing was I don't want people to make fun of me. I know comment sections can be very, very scary. And my thing was, as long as they don't make fun of my nose or my ears, I'll be okay. Say whatever you want to say. And I actually wrote a script for my first introduction vlog, and I sat down with my camera, and I had the tripod, and I set it up, and I was shaking so bad, and I was like, this is so dumb, I'm not gonna do it. And I didn't, for like a week. I didn't do the video, but this voice in my head was like, bro, do it. Like, just who cares forget what she's gonna say, just do it. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my entire life.
That's a great story. Because you are definitely not the kind of person I would think would be nervous.
Well, bro, it was just that knowing when you're putting yourself out there, and I think for any of you who have thought about making a video, like, you're giving it out to the world, even to the point to where people who won't comment are watching this video. What are they thinking about me? That's the scary stuff. But honestly, guys, there's so many opportunities that can come from doing this. I started off as a kid in my bedroom. Like, I'm hanging out with Obama and Ellen now because of YouTube. So pull the trigger. Do it.
Name drop.
Just do it.
Emma.
So I guess back in like 2010, 2011, I was working as a waitress. And I really hated it, but at the same time, I was just starting to get into YouTube, like watching like music videos and stuff. And then I think in the sidebar, Shane Dawson came up, and I was like, "This looks weird, right?" So, and I'd never heard of vlogging in my life, so I click on it, and then there was just this guy talking to a camera about his life, and suddenly he was like, "Oh, if you've seen this girl's video, you'll know." And I was like, "Wait, people watch other people just talking? This is so weird." And then I carried on watching Shane, and then there were other YouTubers like Dan and Phil. I started watching them, and I thought, this is amazing. Like, I could totally do this. I could be friends with all these guys. Just, I don't know, very naively thinking, you know, there's not many of us. And of course, like back then, I think it was a lot easier. There was a lot less pressure. No one wanted to be a YouTuber for a living back then, because you couldn't make a living from it. But I feel like now that you can, there's a lot more pressure. Like, is anyone going to watch this? YouTube is now such a well-known thing that, you know, it can be more embarrassing to start with the first video. My first comedy sketch was one that I made about my favorite Nintendo game. Yeah, it was about Legend of Zelda.
Oh, we're going to talk.
Great, that's what I like to hear. But I didn't think many people would see it. I started at 0, like just like everyone else, and I got like 200, 300 views, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And then I started reading 50 Shades of Grey out loud and just giving really sassy commentary on it, and that blew up. That got like 100,000 views in like a week, and that was like unheard of. And I was like, oh. And then it started from there.
Where did you get that idea, the 50 Shades of Grey idea?
There was a YouTuber who read Twilight, and I was like, I can do that. So it's kind of like inspired. I guess if you really look back, it's kind of ripping him off, but just with a different book. But I guess that kind of inspired me.
I love that you're honest about that, though. I feel like most of us would be like, oh, I don't know, I just got the idea randomly. I love that you're honest about that.
No, I mean, I didn't rip him off entirely, but I was like, he's doing something that's really funny, reading this out, giving his own commentary. I really like that style. I wonder what it would be like if I tried it.
Are you nervous about being perceived as ripping off other people, or do you not like it when other people are inspired by you, or they copy what you're doing too close? Is that like
I think
a
we've
code
got to the
of
point
ethics?
on YouTube maybe now. I know this is getting so deep. You guys haven't even spoken yet, but I think we're getting to the point on YouTube now where there is almost nothing original to talk about now. Everyone's spoken about relationships and jobs and awkward moments, you know. I think there's now just such a fine line between being inspired and like, oh wow, this sounds just like so-and-so's video. I've actually had people comment saying, wow, you got this idea of PewDiePie, and I'm just like, I did the first one of my series like 3 years ago, guys, you know, or oh, you got this idea from a YouTuber that I've never watched, and I go, did I? I've never watched this person, so. You know, I don't know. I mean, I do worry about being perceived that way, but I'm always honest about that kind of stuff. If I make a video that's very similar to someone else's, I'll say, like, not intentionally similar, but I'll say, like, hey, I was watching so-and-so's video, and it kind of got me thinking about, you know, if you credit your sources, it's not so bad, I think, maybe.
Well, you know, look, all of Shakespeare's plays were based on stories that people already knew. It's how he told them.
We
right?
are all Shakespeare's up here, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. Retweet.
Jenn.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. All right. Well, I think I got inspired to start making videos by my mom. I've been making videos since I was like 8, and my mom wasn't like a professional photographer, but she would always carry a camera around and take pictures of me and my family all the time. So I don't know, seeing my mom carrying a camera everywhere all the time inspired me to pick up a camera for the first time. And honestly, I could not even tell you where I drew inspiration for the kind of stuff I used to make when I was younger, because it was genuinely so weird, like so weird. But now I draw a lot of inspiration from my friends. Since we all do YouTube, it's really easy to sit down and just like think of ideas together and stuff like that. But yeah, I used to make some really weird stuff. I think my first video that I filmed was like this video of me and my friend, and like I was pretending to be like her aunt, and I had this really huge butt. I like put a bunch, like an exercise ball on my butt and then like tied a blanket over it so you couldn't tell, and I knocked stuff over with my butt. And that was like the concept of the video. So I mean, obviously not good. I don't know
I've
where I
watched
came
that.
up with
What are you
that from.
talking about? I've watched that.
But stuff like that. I don't know. I've
Wait,
evolved.
is that up somewhere?
No, it's not. Okay, I lost all of my old videos, which is really upsetting because my computer just crashed and I lost them all. But I got inspired to start posting them on YouTube because of Smosh. I found their channel with my friend, and we were like, we make videos like this. Let's post them online, and that's pretty much how it started. But yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
Good.
Woohoo!
Woo!
YouTube content.
What about you, Alexis?
Well,
Yeah.
now that you ask, the first YouTuber I ever watched was Ryan Higa. Yeah, he's great. I agree. Woo. He had those like how to be gangster videos and like all those ones in that sort of vein, and I was like, me too. And at the time, I'd been a competitive gymnast my entire life, and I had a really bad injury, so I couldn't do gymnastics anymore, and that was super weird for me because I had all this free time. So I started in acting classes, and I made my first YouTube video. I took my webcam, and I sat down in my closet, and I just like recorded it and edited it in like 10 minutes, and then I showed my mom if she didn't get it. And then I showed my friends at gymnastics practice. They didn't really get it either. And then I made another video, and they kind of made a little bit of sense. But specifically, something I remember really helping as I was first starting out YouTube is I would find a YouTube, like I was watching everything. So I'd find a video that I thought was really funny, and I'd watch it like 5 times, and I would look at it like, where did I laugh? And then I'd pause it, and I'd like go back and be like, why am I laughing? So like, why is this funny? And I feel like that really helped me figure out like the structure behind comedy, like the rule of threes and the fact that like comparing things to other things can be funny. And that was a big thing for me that I would do.
Okay. I mean, I know, I'm a weird person. I'm not just a moderator, I'm an extreme-orator.
I love that.
Wow! Wow! Okay. By the way, the questions that are coming in on Twitter right now are really, really good. I kind of just want to like
Congrats,
throw this
guys.
out and just get into what you are all doing. So one of the questions was, when you come up with an idea, do you write it down? Do you keep it in a secret notebook? How do you capture all these thoughts? Where do they go? What's your process?
For me, it's the Notes app on my phone. That's just
Definitely.
full of like literally video titles, like what if I was a sloth? And I'll write this stuff at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm really overtired and my thoughts get weird. I wake up the next morning and go, what if we were sloths? You know, but like occasionally like 1 or 2 of those will like make it through the net. But I keep most of my ideas on my phone.
So
when I
like you
think
have
of
a
them.
title of a whole video that you thought of, and then you'll
I
come
think
back
of
later
a
and you're like,
title,
what?
like a few years ago, I used to script every video that I did, like word for word, like every single paragraph, the whole thing. And then I realized that it sounded like I scripted it. It sounded like I thought too much. So now I always just go straight off the cuff. Now I just, turn on the camera. And I've got like basic ideas of what I want to hit in my head, but then most of it is just, unless it's like a planned sort of cutaway, like what me and Alexis might do, then most of the time it's just, hi. Then most of the time it's just off the cuff now.
Me?
Like you were going to talk.
Oh, yeah. Well, I keep a notebook. I keep a lot of notebooks. I am really unorganized with my video ideas because I feel like, probably with everyone else here, they come to you at the most random time. So I have like a bunch of little notebooks. I have like notebooks on my desk. My notes app, like every note is just like a sentence of an idea or like a title, something like that. So yeah, I definitely write them down because I think as like every creative person, you definitely go through a creative block every once in a while. So having a little storage of ideas when you need it is really helpful. but I need to just organize them more because I have a hard time finding them sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same, like, if I get a little bit of an idea, I'll, like, type it in my phone really quick. Like, I have so many notes in my phone. Like, at one point I was going through them, and it said, angry at milk. And that was a video idea. I was like, what if I was, like, really mad at milk? I don't know. But I have a bunch of, like, little random video ideas like that. And then when I go to, like, structure a video, I've, like, shown people, like, the way that I write it out, and it doesn't make sense to anyone but me, but to me, totally makes sense, because I'll have, like, random things that, like, in bold, and, like, if this has an asterisk by it, then, like, I know what that means. So it's a mess.
I actually also started with the phone, and my YouTube mentor was Michelle Phan. She was the one that kind of... Oh, queen! She's queen. Yeah, when we first met, she was like, so how do you come up with your ideas? Like, where do you store them? I'm like, oh, put them in my phone. She's like, What are you talking about? I thought I was like so clever doing this. She's like, listen, sWooZie, the only time you see that list is when you go back to add a new title. And I'm like, well, you're kind of right. She was like, listen, go to Walmart, buy a dry erase board, put it up in a room, and write them out in the world. So when you walk into that room, every time you walk in the room, you see them. And I'm like, yo, you're a freaking genius, bro.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that idea.
Go for it. You guys also, like, it's great to have it on your phone, but she was right. Like, she knew that every time I see that list was only when I went to revisit to add a new title, and that was it. So when I saw it out on the wall, it was a completely different story, and I think that my videos took on a whole new life from that point. And to be honest, like, any idea or any video that's going to go crazy on the internet starts with that inception of, I'm gonna do this. It's always an idea. I'm gonna do the Gangnam Style. I'm gonna dance around like this and call it Gangnam Style. It all starts with that idea. So the genesis is the most important and crucial part.
Lesson number 1 from this session. Don't keep your ideas in the fridge. Put them out on the table. Eat them. Consume them.
Oh, I love a good metaphor. That was great.
That was wild.
Woo! I'm having the best time.
We're having a good time. Okay, now once you do have an idea, what is your trajectory? Like, from idea to video, does it happen like that? Or do you marinate? Do you ever shoot like little, like, pre-video? You know what I'm talking about? No?
Yeah, I know
Talk
what
to
you
me.
mean, but I keep jumping in first. I'm so sorry. I'm just
girl,
like,
go,
I just beat
go.
every punch. Sorry.
Ladies first.
When I'm doing what I think is going to be like a comedy vlog where I've got cutaways, I base it on, I try to do like 3 cutaways per video. So, like I said, I don't write mine out like really like to the letter, but like I used to. But now I plan out those cutaways first, what I think are going to be the funny sketch parts, and then I go back and think about points I can hit in between those that link them together. And most of the time, when I come up with an idea and then I revisit it, most of them I'm just like, no, I'm never going to do that, you know, because I come up with these ideas and then sleep on them, and then suddenly they seem terrible in the morning. But to go from just a thought of like, what if I was angry at milk, to suddenly like trying to think, why am I angry at milk? What are 3 reasons I'm angry at milk? And if you can't think of those 3 reasons, then you think, I'll leave that one on the back burner. But sometimes an idea slips through and it makes a video, but not often. You need to make that one about milk, though. I'm genuinely interested in that.
Oh my God, I'm so mad at milk. I have a lot to say. But I feel like I got in this really bad habit, like sometime last year, of just like sitting on all my ideas, and then it would be like the day before I post a video, and I just like kind of like be like, okay, I'll do this one. But I feel like now I've forced myself, because I feel like you sit on the ideas that are harder to make, so the ones that take more shots and that'll take more time, that you have to like get someone to hold the camera for you. So I think for me it's important that I like limit the marination to like a couple weeks, and then I make it. And I like write it out as soon as possible, and then I just like get it done.
Because you don't want to overthink it or talk yourself out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you ever have an idea that's really good, but then you don't know how to actually execute it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Never.
Can you tell me how, please?
I can. We'll talk,
Great.
but I'll tell them a little bit too.
We can
To
all
be
listen.
honest, I am in competition with myself, and I'll challenge all you guys that are, creators to do the same. Like, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. everything on YouTube that you upload is a test. Even on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever the case. It's a test, and it's a question as well, like, is this cool? That's what you ask every time you push upload or post. And the views is currency on YouTube, and they'll let you know very quickly, like, yo, this is cool. So the first time I uploaded a video about Disney, I literally did a Disney search on YouTube, and nobody was talking anything about Disney back in 2010. So I was like, okay, let me see if this is cool. And I targeted the 60,000 people that worked at Disney as cast members, and they let me know real quick, yo, this is cool. So then I started talking about different topics, and I would make my rounds. And then you find out really quickly, even on Instagram, you'll post a picture, this one will get 20,000 likes, this one will get 100,000 likes. Yo, this is cool. So I would say for just you guys that are, really trying to start the YouTube thing, like, you're gonna be up here at some point. Like, I was talking to Alexis backstage, and she was like, I started a few years ago, and I have 1 million subscribers now. And it's like, it's crazy to me when you think about 1 million people in one room, like, that's nuts. So what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, let's just give Alexis a round of applause for hitting 1 million.
Yes, she just hit
That
it.
is a huge milestone.
Thank you.
Did you get your gold play button yet?
I have not.
I was gonna
It takes
say,
a
bro,
while
it
to
took me a
make.
long time to get mine. So if she got hers already, problems.
Problem. No, she's still waiting.
But what was the question? I'm gonna end
Oh,
it. I'm rambling
The
now. but I'm
question
gonna
was,
end
did you
it.
ever have a great idea that
yeah,
you just
that's right,
couldn't
that's
find
right.
the way to get
Okay.
it
So
out?
the craziest idea I had was I wanted to do a car chase scene. And I wanted to drive 100 miles an hour down the road. So
Yes.
I challenged myself, like, I'm going to do this. But it's hard to do that without shutting down a road. And I'm a punk kid with a camera. How do I do this? So the first hurdle is getting your friends to show up when you're recording. That's the hardest part. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, okay, my friends are just really shady. But yeah, so I had to rent vans from the airport. I bought fake guns on Amazon, and legit, like, that Amazon purchase was the sketchiest purchase of all time. I was like buying ski masks, guns, like it was bad. I thought the FBI was gonna be watching everything. But yeah, so I really challenged myself. It's called Adorable Ambush is the name of the video. Watch it, we're legit driving down the road. I found a turnpike that's like not really populated, and I really challenged myself to go out there and do it. So when you guys start thinking, crap, I can't do that, that's what you should be focusing on doing. Same with Lego animations. I always told myself, I could never do that. I don't have the software, technology, but the one word I would always ask myself, why? So I'd say, I can't do a Lego animation. Why? I don't have the software. Why? Well, I haven't looked online. Why? Try that. See what you can accomplish.
This is gold.
I'm learning a lot from
This
you.
is really
literally.
good.
These guys are giving us their time. Like, I'm gonna give you guys all my secrets at this point.
Why? Why? Man, you are really just a jerk to yourself. It's
The
good.
thing is, listen, guys, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. You can blow up on YouTube one of two ways: by luck or strategy. One of my best friends, her name is Boxy. You guys remember? Hi, I'm Boxy. Oh my God, squirrel. You guys remember that? 44 million views on a video, right? By luck.
Dang.
4chan just picked up her video, boom, 44 million views. Luck. I like strategy. Disney, okay, there's 60,000 people that work at Disney. I'm gonna target those 60,000. And you, literally, like, I can have 1 million views, you can have 1 million views, we can all share the wealth. We can all be rich off of YouTube, and I want you guys to be rich, because waking up and having every day be Saturday is the best feeling in the world. To not have to get up and go scrub a table at 6 o'clock in the morning, let me tell you, is the best feeling in the world. So, I'm gonna give you guys all my secrets.
Oh, sweet. How generous. Woo! You mentioned something about, oh, does anyone else want to jump in? Yeah? No?
No.
Yeah. No?
I'm not that great.
I think to kind of like build off of that, it's important when making, it doesn't really relate to the original question, but it relates to what he said. So to kind of, something I always find to keep in mind is who are you targeting? Because I think a lot of people make videos and then it's a video and like, but it's important to keep in mind like your demographic, like what age group are you going for? Are you going for people that are in college? Are you going for people that are in middle school? And finding ways to get as many demographics and as many people paying attention to you as possible. Like I think there's so many foreign YouTubers and it's so, like there's so much collaboration and cross promotion there, but I think a lot of times you think, okay, I'm targeting a 15-year-old girl or like 16-year-old girls when there's so many different demographics and people.
Well, there's something that you mentioned that I just thought about is what are people gonna like? Is this gonna be good? Like those type of questions when you're trying to be creative, I think can be very It can be a big impediment, right? If you're concerned about how people are going to react to what you're doing, it's very different than targeting a group, I think. You think like, this is going to be for this group. It's very different than like, what would be cool? I think that's not the approach. I don't know if really anything good comes out of that type of questioning process. I think it's more about, I have this idea, how do I focus it, and how do I execute on it? And I love the why type of thing, because that really does focus you into convincing yourself that you can do it.
Well, I like what Alexis pointed out. She had
you.
mentioned that she would pause the video anytime that she laughed and would think to herself, why did I laugh here? I think that's really crucial to actually study what is funny, because something funny to me might not be funny to her. So it's really important to really focus in. Honestly, the secret sauce for me is I try to incorporate humor into all my videos, because when I'm watching a video, I share it because it's either really awesome or it's really funny. That's it. So really study what is a good video and what is a bad video, because you could be making bad videos and you're thinking, oh, this is amazing. Low key, all your videos are hot garbage. So you have to be able to look at your own work and be like, this is bad. And when you're studying videos like she's talking about, you can help differentiate a lot better.
Right, but I love that perspective of it. Everything's an experiment, everything's a question. It doesn't necessarily, it can be bad, right? And then you learn. I think that's the thing, is you have to keep trying. And like I said, showing up is such a big, important part of this. You mentioned something, sWooZie, about working with other people, and I think collaboration is really a great source of inspiration. It's a great go-to, I think, if you have blocks. If you want to talk a little bit about your collaborative process, do you pitch an idea when you collaborate, or like, yo, let's collaborate, we'll figure it out? Is it an awkward dance when you try to
It's so tough for me, man. Like, believe it or not, I've only collaborated with 4 people in my entire life on YouTube. And it's not that I don't want to, because my very first VidCon, my very first playlist, I came here and I saw Freddie Wong and I saw Grace, and I was meeting these guys. Luckily, because they was a lot smaller, you could walk up and just literally talk to them. And a lot of people, I'm not even gonna say YouTube space, but just the digital space, they look at your number, and if that number is smaller than theirs,
That is so true.
I'm giving them the truth right now. Like, I'm not gonna pull punches. Like, they don't want to collab with you because they feel like, what do I have to gain?
You're using them for subs, right? That's
Correct.
exactly
Like,
the
okay,
thing.
you have 1 million, you said? Okay, well, I have 5, so you can't give me anything. But
I mean,
what
they don't say that.
Right, they don't. They don't.
But they're
Be
like,
like,
"Yeah,
yeah,
we
I'm
should-
just busy.
We should
Correct.
we should make a video together, and then they sort of walk away. You never see them again.
So I met these 2 girls backstage, and the first question was, where are you guys based out of? Because instantly I'm thinking, let's collab. Like, I love the collaborative process. You're in LA,
Nice.
I'm in LA, cool, let's figure something out. I love you too, boo-boo. I love you. It's okay, we'll talk afterwards, tweet me. But yeah, the thing is too, it's like what a lot of digital stars don't think is, yeah, you might have only 1 million and I have 5, but you might have 1 million that don't know about me.
Exactly. There's like a complete different
Take it,
audience
girl, take
share,
it.
and that's all right. Fine, I'll go for it too. I find the idea of even asking someone to make a video terrifying. And I will admit, like, I'm also really bad at coming up with collaboration ideas. Like, so, you know, on the off chance I say, hey, I'd really love to make a video with you. I think it'd be great. And they go, yeah, sure. What do you think we should make? And then suddenly I'm like,
Let me get back to you on that.
I don't know, because you don't want to do the tags that have been done by so many others, and they've probably already done them if you haven't done them. You don't want to come across as someone that comes up with like ideas that they think are going to be bad. You're worried that they think the idea is going to suck and not do it. And like you said, there is sadly there is an attitude of a numbers game. You know, in the community, a lot of people in the UK community don't talk to each other. People think it's a really tight-knit community in the UK. Not many people talk to each other in the UK. And also, like, that's the other thing. I don't live in London or Brighton or like the places where a lot of other YouTubers are. So I also find it really hard to collaborate. So I don't do many collaborations at all. We should hook up.
Let's chat.
How many subs you got? I'm kidding.
Only 1 million.
No, I've only got 1 million too, so it'll be fine.
Jen?
Yeah, I was gonna say I am also terrified to ask people to collab. I never do. Personally, I only collaborate with my friends, and for a couple of reasons. One, because like I fear the rejection of the people being like no, or giving me a bullshit excuse. But also because I think my friends are great, and we have the same type of humor. I really like sitting down for our process of coming up with collaboration ideas. Like we just sit down and we're like, all right, what should we do? How do we make it funny? I like sitting down and doing that. Also, like you just obviously have great chemistry with someone you're friends with, so I feel like the videos come out so much better. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, like I don't like look at numbers or anything like that when it comes down to it. It just is all about like my friend and the idea. I mean, I did a video with Hunter March, if you know him, and he was like, he's great, funniest guy.
So funny.
He's so funny. He literally was like, why don't we do this thing where we prank guys on Tinder? And I thought it was the most hilarious idea, and I was like,
Terrible.
we're
Why would
doing
you
it.
do something like
It
that?
was
Horrible
so
idea.
Much fun. No, it was so much fun. We filmed for literally 4 or 5 hours just doing like on Tinder the entire time, and it's probably one of my favorite videos I've ever made. So just like stuff like that, sitting down with your friends and just coming up with a great idea and just doing it is great. It's fun.
Yeah, personally, I love collaborating with like weird people, or like people that aren't in the same sort of like internet circle as me. Like I've done a lot of collaborations with people that I'm friends with, but one of my favorite collabs I've ever done was with this Russian YouTuber. He doesn't really speak English. I speak zero Russian, and the concept was so simple. I'm just like asking him questions about his love life, but everything is translated wrong, and he's so uncomfortable. And I think that like something so simple, just because
Sounds
we're
so good.
we're just like super different. I think that's where a lot of the comedy came from, rather than like a structured anything, which is also good.
Was it very improvisational?
Yes, very much like what? I'm sorry, what are you saying? Okay, wait, slower. Okay, what? There was a lot of that. But I think that is comedy, you know, awkwardness, and it was very real because we just didn't know each other well and didn't speak the same language at all.
Jen, you mentioned something about memes, or no, was it Emma? Did you mention something about like using hashtags? Oh, and collabs, that's right. You mentioned something about like, with
What?
collaborations, I swear I did not make this up.
I
Wait,
think
me?
you're somewhere else.
Or
You
Emma.
mentioned like, collaborating, sometimes you do like some of the hashtag memes. Like that's a, like
Tags.
tags, right?
There we go. Now we're on the same
Oh my
planet.
God, please. So,
You're down with the
tags,
kids, dude.
like boyfriend tag or
Yeah.
friend tag. Okay, so that sometimes really works as a way of just getting the sort of collab started.
Yes, it's like it can be like either a quick fix, like, oh yeah, we should make the, let's just do this, let's just make that. Sometimes it really works. You think, oh, actually, we're really good friends, and this would be a really funny video. And sometimes you'll go into it. Have you guys ever done like a collab with someone, and like the outtakes are way
they're
funnier
really
than the
good.
actual collab? And like you can either upload the outtakes as like
I
a
do.
separate video, or just that as the main video. I've done that where literally I had a video with my friend Nerdcube, who's a gamer, and like we were gonna do this whole structured like kind of sketch thing, and the bloopers were so funny. We ended up just uploading a video of bloopers and never uploaded the actual sketch. And it was funnier than anything else we could have done.
No, I
Like
tried
no
to.
context or anything.
Me and Superwoman did a collab,
Oh, slay, mama.
and I love her too. Legit, we met through all of our subscribers shipping us so hard. And everybody on my Facebook was like, you need to meet Superwoman. You need to meet, and they were doing the same thing on her page. So we were finally like DM'd each other like, yo, apparently we're supposed to meet, like we're long lost lovers and we didn't know it.
You
And we
guys
finally-
control us.
well,
honestly.
legit, she's right. Like, we have to listen to our audience. And we met at Playlist Live in 2014, and she was instantly like, we need to collab. And I was like, yes, girl, let's do this. From that moment, once I knew she was down to collab, I started working on the collab, and I didn't upload it until a few months ago. So it's like over a year I've been working on it, because I look at it as if I'm gonna take up your time, like all these guys are very busy. If I'm gonna take up your time, I'm treating this like a Jay-Z and Beyonce collab, like two powerhouses coming together. I don't wanna waste your time. I might not get another shot at this. So I want people to be jealous, like, crap, why wasn't I on that collab?
You want to do the best it could have been,
exactly,
right?
the
You don't want
best.
to watch it back and go, we could have done so much more with this.
Correct. So I mean, I'm all about watching, you know, the challenge videos. You probably won't see that on my channel though, because I love to like push the creative limits. And then when you're here and here's the script, and you're saying, I don't know, sWooZie, it'd be funnier if we did this. I'm like, we're doing that. So for me and Superwoman, everybody ships us so hard. The joke was, you know what? We're just friends. but we're gonna be doing the sexiest stuff the entire time. So she has whipped cream on her finger, and I'm like, can I see your finger?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna lick it though. I'm not gonna lick
I
it.
don't mind, whatever.
Really? Okay, we'll hold it in this hand then.
Oh no.
Oh,
there
boy.
we go.
We're doing a collab right
We
now.
are. So she'd have whipped
Oh,
cream.
we're collabing right now.
She'd have whipped cream on her finger, and I'm like, Lily, I don't understand why people think that we're dating. Oh my God.
Yeah,
and then
that's
she'll
not
kiss
compelling
me.
at all.
I'm never washing this finger again.
And then she'll kiss my cheek. And I'm like, what's wrong with people? They don't understand. So like legit, like I was working on those
That's hilarious.
jokes for months and months and months. But at the same time, I got to have Superwoman pour hot wax all over my back. So that was also fun too.
I think we're just gonna have to. Wow. You're gonna demo that too?
What's that? Yeah, we can. I mean, do we have wax? I brought some.
We got tons of wax backstage. It's
Let's
so
go.
weird.
But yeah, so same thing. Even for you guys, like I was in the crowd my first few playlists and VidCons, and I wanted to collab with the people I was watching on stage. And it's also very difficult approaching us. Like, hey, I want to collab. We have like 90,000 emails saying that, and also tweets. Have an idea. Also, if you show us a video of what your work is like and it's freaking awesome, that also helps. Because I've collabed with subscribers that say, sWooZie, I made a remake of your video in animation like this. I instantly collab with that guy. Like legit, tomorrow, let's start working on the script. Just like that.
sWooZie, I like how you said like I've only collaborated with 4 people, and
Well,
it's
4
like
big
Michelle
people.
Fun,
4
literally
big
sing.
people. But I've collabed with a lot of subscribers. Like, I've
But it's
probably
true,
like
like-
14 subscribers.
Collabs are supposed to be fun, right? It's
love
not
the
just
process.
about numbers and all that. It's about, is it going to be a good time? Is it a cool idea? Is it going to be something that's going to enhance the experience for my viewers? I think that's all part of it. What about current events? How do current events play into that? Do you pay attention to the news? Do you try to like ride that wave? Do you ever look at current events as a source of inspiration when you're doing videos, or no?
I don't know about like current events. I guess like more of trends.
Trends.
I really look at. Something that I like to do is I like to see what is popular on YouTube and what people are like to watch, because that changes all the time. And then I look at the concept as a whole and think like, how can I do this idea but make it different and make it my own?
Yeah.
I don't know, for example, I mean, room tours are always like a trend. And I made a room tour video, which is something I
room
would
tour.
never do. But I was like, how do I make a room tour video? Because I wouldn't make a video like that, but how do I make that video? Because people want to like see that, but do it on my own. So I just did the whole thing sarcastically and like made it a huge joke instead. So I try to like do that with a lot of the stuff I post on my channel.
I would like to just get a sense of where you get your sources of inspiration in general. Is there a place that you go to, a happy place, an inspiring place?
I'm in the shower. That's where I get all the best ideas.
Always when you're away from a notepad or a phone, isn't it?
Well, that's why I have, like, if you go in my shower, you'll just see, like, ink
You got,
all
let me
over
get
the
you got a
walls.
white. I was gonna say, I bet you got a whiteboard in the shower or something, right?
I mean, you don't turn the water on. You just go into the shower.
I just go in the shower and start getting ideas. No, everywhere, guys. Like, for me, I'm the kind of kid who was, like, on the floor with his G.I. Joes, like, at ground level, directing scenes with my characters. And I feel like my record button is always pressed. So whenever I hear, I'm sure these guys will also probably like retweet this, but when you hear something, it's like, oh my God, that's a good idea. And you like low-key start writing down next video ideas. Everything around you is a source of inspiration. That's for me. My friends are also good sources of inspiration. TV commercials, they're literally, even here, like, I mean, there were some kids that watched girls running and screaming for no reason at VidCon, and they got an idea, I'm just gonna put on a hoodie, my friends are gonna start screaming and chasing, and we'll prank everybody and see who else runs and scream. And it was a hit. Like, it got like 15 million views on YouTube, and that's literally, the ideas are all around us.
Yeah,
Probably shouldn't do that nowadays, though.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I think there's a lot of inspiration around us, and personally, like if I come up with like a little seed of an idea, I walk in circles around my apartment until I like sort it out. Like a nice pace around always does the trick. Like gets it all flowing. Do a little shoulder
Little strut.
shimmy.
That's awesome.
It's the movement.
So
Okay,
showers, walking around in circles.
I
trying
also
to-
have to agree with like the friend thing. Since like all of my friends are YouTubers as well, there's just like 90% of our hanging out is just like doing things and something being funny and literally just pulling out our phone and writing it down or being like, oh, we should like take this concept or this joke or whatever and see how we can like turn it into a video. So yeah, I draw a lot of inspiration from my friends.
Do you, Jen, do you and your friends ever be sitting around and then an idea comes up and everybody fights like, no, I want this idea, I want this idea?
Yeah, that has happened. Like me and my friend will come up with an idea and we'll be like, all right, we're either gonna have to do this together or like figure it out.
sWooZie Tube, Alex Wasabi, Lauren DIY, and myself were sitting around.
I
And
need a room for all
Alex,
those names you just dropped.
these are all my homies. We have a group chat going right now. They're texting me. Anyways, yeah, and Alex said something, and I kind of went ahead and got an idea, and then sWooZie said it out loud. And I was like, crap, no, I wasn't going to say that. He's like, too late, it's mine. So he has a prank that may or may not be coming up, and it is freaking genius, and it's going to blow up. I'm predicting like 20 million in a day. Watch. When you see it on sWooZie's channel, it blows up, you'll know that's the one.
All right. There's something really bizarre. We only have 15 minutes left. This is an hour session. We just did 45 minutes. I'm so impressed by that because we didn't really, and this kind of relates to the topic, but we didn't really structure this conversation. I think really what happened is we started getting together and started talking, and each person inspired one another. I think that's a really good lesson about the creative process, is that you can just sort of start it out. So I did want to give some time to the questions. And we have about 15 minutes, so that's actually right on time. But I can't believe how fast the time has gone. So that's a testament to how interesting you are. So one of the questions was, this is from Alex, at Bag of Cereal. Do you use a template for your videos to help with writing, generating ideas? So once you have an idea, do you put it into a formula, or how does that work?
I mean, like I said, when I do like a sketch with like, when I know it's going to have like cutaways, I will know like I'm going to have 3 cutaways. This one's going to hit this point, and this point, and then I start writing the bits in between. But that's as far as I go with it now. Like I feel like maybe I should go back to writing them properly because they're kind of gone a bit lame recently. But I think it entirely depends on your own content though. Like everyone writes things differently. You just got to find what works for you, as cheesy as that sounds. Like I said, I used to write them word for word, and now I don't. It's all about, you got to change things up as well, you know. But yeah, I write like what I think are the funny parts, I guess, like first, and then I'll try and think of like sentences to link them together. That's just what I do.
I don't really have a specific template, but I will write it all out, and it's kind of similar every time. That's my answer.
When you come up with ideas for videos, oh, sorry, this is Izzy last day at VidCon. Never mind. It's too hard to read this person's handle. But when you guys come up with ideas for videos, do you guys get waves of them, or do you get pieces of ideas one by one?
I'd say pieces for me. Oh, Jen, go girl, go.
Me?
Yeah, you.
It's Yeah Boy Troy is the account.
Okay, I do this thing, which is very frustrating, but it happens, where if I like sit down to come up with an idea, I could sit at my desk for 4 hours and come up with nothing, and then in the last 5 minutes, come up with like 20 ideas all at one time. So that's usually how my creative process works if I'm like sitting down and like trying to come up with a video. So I'll just get it all at once, but it takes a while.
I go through like more like waves in that I will, my productivity and how inspired I get goes in like, I'll have like 2 or 3 weeks maybe of being like, I love my channel, I'm gonna do this is a great idea, I can't think of anything, I don't know what I'm doing, I wanna delete everything, whoa, this is a great idea. And it'll be like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. So I always hope and pray that like in the 2 weeks where I'm feeling really inspired and loving what I do, when every day is a Saturday, that I've got enough ideas to sort of last me through the next 2 weeks. That doesn't always happen. If you ever see gaps in my uploads, you know what's happened now. You're in on the industry secrets. But no, mine's more like I can come up with a bunch of ideas in a day, like tons, and then I'll have like absolutely nothing. I think it's good to admit that we can't all be creative 100% of the time. Like all of us here have had like creative blocks, right? You can't think of anything. So if you feel like that and you can't come up with anything, don't worry, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're not creative. You're probably just going through a phase where you're not inspired. Go take a walk and talk to people, and maybe it'll come back up, and maybe have waves like me.
I I feel like also the more things I do and the more like activities, just like random things in life, the more I'm inspired. So if I'm ever having a time where it's like, oh, I can't think of anything, I suck, I'm the worst, I'll just go do something. And that a lot of times will like spark new inspiration.
Do you ever have a great idea and
Yeah.
then the video is not so great, or have an idea that you don't think so great, but then the video turns out to be amazing?
Oh my God, yes. I like sometimes I'll film a video and I'll be like, all right, this sucked. But then I go and edit it and it like turns out to be like one of my favorite videos. I don't
Really?
know how that happens or why. Also, sometimes just the execution doesn't work out for me.
Yeah.
And then
Sometimes I've filmed a video and gone, this is the funniest thing I've ever
Yep.
done, and it will just bomb on my channel and do so bad. And everyone will go, you're not as funny as you used to be. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This was hilarious. I tend to have an opposite sense of humor to my subscribers sometimes.
Same. Don't start getting in the habit of, this is gonna be awesome. I uploaded my first video of the year, was a Disney mega mix. And I put all my favorite Disney movies, and me and a friend collabed and made a huge, awesome, like, trap remix. And we're like, this is gonna get 3 million in no time, and it still hasn't hit 3 million. And then this week, I uploaded a video, is she sending mixed signals? I literally uploaded just to have something, new for VidCon, and it got 2 million in a day. And I'm like, what is happening in life? Like, I've lost my ability to predict. So just, when you upload, hope for the best, but don't get sucked into this is gonna blow in a good way.
Be neutral about all of your stuff. Don't think it's going to be great, and don't think it's going to suck. And it's always good if you, I don't know about you guys, but when a video is uploading, you see that bar, you start getting a bit like nervous, like, are people going to find this funny? Is this good? That is a good thing. It is good that you're worried about it because it means you give a
Yeah,
it means you
that's
give a damn.
important.
Yeah, it means you give a crap about what
That's
you're
a
doing.
good one. Yeah, I mean, if you're nervous about it, that's a good sign. It means that you care.
And you're making something that says something.
And I think good or bad, it's going to be you. And I think that's what's important. And I think the more that you kind of listen to your own voice, the more it's going to be unique. You don't really have to really think of something new when you're being really honest with yourself, because every single person's different. This one's from Maya. It's Maya Desai. It's in
I
all
wonder where
caps.
she is.
Hi.
It's in all
Maya.
caps.
Oh, dang.
Do you find it hard to avoid clickbait?
Can we talk about clickbait? Because I feel like in
Yeah.
everybody's comments right now, they're just throwing that word out. Clickbait, is it or is it not, when you literally set up in a picture and in a title, this is what you're going to get, this is what you should expect, and you click it and that's not it, correct?
Yeah,
Basically, it's a
correct.
bait and
Yes.
switch. It's where
Right.
you're misrepresenting
Correct.
the content.
But like completely misrepresenting. where
Correct.
It's like boobs in the thumbnail and it's nothing.
Oh, wait, what video is that? I'll watch it.
Timothy Delgado.
Oh, I fell
I
for it.
clickbaited you.
No, but because I get that sometimes too. It's just like, I'll put like a really saucy picture up, but when you come into my channel, what you see is what you're gonna get. And I feel like when I watch YouTube as a whole now, people are just like, oh, you're clickbaiting us on everybody's channel. I'm like, guys, that's not the definition of it. But clickbaiting, I'm not a huge fan of it. If it's like once or twice, okay. Like sWooZie, he's a prankster. He will clickbait. I bought a house, right? And he's at his manager's house. Like, you didn't buy a house, but you clickbait. All right, once. But when it's
That's
a
different.
Yeah, when it's a regular thing, like, people are not going to stick around for that. They're not going to watch. Your channel's going to fail. You're going to end up working at McDonald's for the rest of your life. Like, don't clickbait. It's a bad thing.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I feel like people really throw around the term clickbait right now, and the way that they're doing it, everyone on YouTube is clickbaiting
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
And we're not, I don't think.
It's called trying to get people to watch your video because suddenly, like, it's harder to earn money on YouTube, and we need to try and survive. I don't know. I'm not advertising. I know that
Too
sounds
real.
really bad, but I'm saying like I'm not like like our definition of clickbait, I don't agree with at all. But like, there's a lot of people who do like story time videos, and they'll be like maybe like absurd titles, and you think, oh, that didn't happen. But you know it didn't happen. You can look at that title and be like, okay, that's a bit exaggerated. That's not clickbait, I don't think. Like, because it's not misleading. It's still a story about that, but maybe the title's a bit exaggerated because this person has worked hard on a video and wants people who aren't in their audience to click it,
I
maybe.
want to make it as cinematic as humanly possible in every single way, with pictures, with titles, with everything.
That's a much better way of putting it, yeah.
I I think also it's important, first of all, to have a balance between like videos you know are a little clickier, between videos that are more like creative and like you're passionate about them. But also it's sometimes a way of being like, hey, we exist still, watch all my other videos that I made too. So it's like throwing a couple clickier videos out there just as a reminder, like, hey, I'm here, give me attention.
Like,
This
is
is
it
a-
hard to avoid it though, just real quick? Because the question was like, is it hard to avoid it? I think like sometimes it can be honestly, it can be very tempting to do that stuff. I like to think that I don't do what we would call clickbaiting at all, but like there are times where you think, oh, if I make this the title, more people will click on it. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I think maybe some of you guys be like, what title will get people to click it? But that's because we're creative people and we upload videos to make other, well, not ma- let other, make people watch them. I'm going to go with make, you know? So I think it is difficult to avoid it, but I think, you know, there's a massive difference between what a lot of people think is clickbait and what we think is clickbait, maybe.
Look, just do what works, I think. It's an experiment. As long as you're not misrepresenting yourself,
Exactly.
right? Okay, here's a fun one. This is from O2LX Taco Bell. Jimmy. Jimmy, are you here? Do you eat anything? Do you eat anything for ideas? Like, is there a it says, do you have a specific food that gives you ideas? Like, oh, okay, I gotta come up with something. And then you eat a specific thing.
I wish.
I was just gonna say
If
that.
there was something that was a constant source of inspiration that I could keep in my freezer,
I have
would.
no ideas. Oh my God, I'm inspired now. Like, I wish. No, not for me, no.
Or do you like clean your room? Have you ever done that where you're like, oh, I have this deadline, but first, in order to think, I have to reorganize
To be
my
fair,
room.
like clean room, clean mind. I can't come up with anything unless my place is tidy. Unfortunately, I have a busy schedule. I do like tours and stuff sometimes, so my house is constantly a mess. But I find that once I've tidied my whole place, I can suddenly think again. I don't know. And sometimes, like, because you're doing something idly, you're tidying up. Your mind's in other places. You're also coming up with ideas. So if you're running out of ideas, clean everything, tidy your house.
Well, I think for anybody that's trying to do YouTube full time or even seriously, watch YouTube. Like, there's so many awesome ideas out there, and I feel like a lot of content creators get so sucked into our way of wake up, edit, work, upload, repeat. When you sit and watch YouTube, like, there's a lot of times I'm watching, like, this is a great idea, but it would have been so cool if they did this and went in that direction. So sometimes I get a lot of ideas from just eating YouTube.
It is absolutely okay to be inspired by other YouTubers, watch their idea and go, I'm going to adapt this into my own thing and my opinions on it, so long as you don't completely plagiarize them, like word for word, and try and get away with it, then just absolutely take inspiration from people you love watching, people you find funny, you know, and then, because it's important to remember that, like, if you stay true to who you are as a person, then the audience that you want will find you. You know, rather than trying to be something you're not and trying to find people, try and get them to find you. You know, I don't know. I got too deep and profound. I'm so sorry. Boobs.
Never.
Clickbait.
What? I'll watch it. Okay, this is a question that actually came up a couple of times in my feed, is what happens if you have too many ideas?
No.
And I think that question
don't
is
know.
like,
Give them
wish.
to
how
me.
do you pick? You have a lot of ideas. How do you, it's like,
Go, Alexis,
how do
go.
you focus and do it?
I think life is super long, and you can make all of them.
Yeah, that's probably a rare occurrence, but when it does happen, like, I think it's great to schedule out like your entire month or like the next 2 months, which I have been trying to do recently. I've actually, for the year 2016, I've been like sitting down at the beginning of each month and coming up with 4 video ideas for like the whole month. And it really helps being like on Monday, waking up and being like, all right, I already know what I'm doing for this week, and then allocating enough time to get it done. So yeah, just like scheduling in advance.
There's nothing nicer than seeing like a whiteboard or a printed out calendar with all your ideas on it. It's kind of rare for me because like I do stuff with like creative blocks, but I'd agree. Try and schedule stuff out. In terms of like, yeah, like, oh, shall I do how to eat a hot dog or how I feel about teachers? And you can't honestly decide. Literally just be like, you know what, I'm just going to pick this one first and I'm going to pick that one. Unless there's one that you feel honestly, and I'm being honest, if there is one more topical and you think that it will get more views in this certain week, like, remember when Damn Daniel was a thing? You know, that sort of thing? Like, you wouldn't upload that now. So, like, try and, like, come up with ideas that you think, well, when you've got ideas, like try and work out maybe if one is more topical than the other, then put that first. But that should be common sense, I think.
Down the line, do you consider yourself more of a planner or a person who performs under pressure? You're first.
Both. Like,
Both.
I think I'll plan it out so that I put myself under pressure.
Got it. So you consciously wait to the last minute.
Yes.
Strategically do that.
Strategically, exactly.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I love giving myself deadlines. I don't know if this is weird. If I'm sitting down to edit a video, one day I might put a 2-hour, 4-hour timer up and try to get it done before that because I have this pressure building up on me and I'm like, all right, I can get it done in this time period. So I guess a combination.
Emma?
I'm the opposite of that, strangely. I feel like whenever I try to say, I'm going to get this done by next Thursday, I'm going to upload every Thursday, my videos would be Saturday morning or Sunday evening. I can't stick to deadlines, and I never have been able to, but that's part of my personality. That's one of my flaws, and I have learned to embrace that. So I just don't put that kind of pressure on myself anymore because I find it works better for me. But if pressure works better for you guys, then absolutely do it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it your flaws. I'd say that's more just part of your personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Persona. Yeah.
Just embrace it and work it.
I love to plan. I think we're all control freaks up here when it comes to editing. We just love having, even down to the frames. I'm a planner, but at the same time, there's a lot of times where videos just comes down to just pressure. But for me, planning.
Okay, this is a weird question because we have to go. You just want to throw out an idea for a video that someone can maybe go for?
Really
Is that
good
tough?
question,
Is that too
actually.
tough?
Why are you angry at milk?
I
Boom,
liked
that's
your,
one.
I liked your how to eat a hot dog.
How to eat a hot dog, too.
You can have that one. I'll do the angry at milk. You eat a hot dog. You
We got
two
two.
gotta
We
come
just
up
need
with
two more.
something. This is actually a really good
Okay.
four-way collab. We come up with ideas for each other. I'm liking
Why I'm
that.
angry at milk, how to eat a hot dog. Come
He's
on.
thinking. He's plucking ideas from his brain.
How to get a super uber popular YouTuber to notice you.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I
You
like
film
that.
that right here.
Mm-hmm.
Things that people normally do when they're happy, but done really sadly.
like sitting
She
down.
just comes
on-
up with really good ideas out of nowhere.
Have you? Great. And then each one of you will do it in a different way, right? I mean, that's what I think is so cool. It's not
like a school
plagiarism.
report.
Yeah. I do know that sitting down on the floor in the shower is a very sad
It is.
experience.
Is that your video idea?
Sure. In
Stand
a
the
tuxedo,
shower crying.
obviously. In a wedding
Call it the
gown.
shower
That's
tag.
not
In
good.
a
It's just
wedding
the YouTuber
gown.
sitting down in the shower for an hour just talking. The shower
We're-
tag.
We are completely out of time. So just before we say goodbye, how to eat a hot dog, why I'm
what?
angry at milk, how to get a top YouTuber's attention at VidCon, and things happy people do, but totally sad. I like it. Okay, let's give a round of applause and a little cheer for our great, great panelists. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank
VidCon.
you.